Welcome back aboard Blurred Force One with your boys Mo and Ladi, and this is the Supercast. The Supercast, where we talk about all things superhero and our pop culture media. That's movies, TV shows, video games. We talk about the news, do some speculation, all of that good nerdy stuff. And before we get into the podcast today, do us a favor, get down there and hit like on this video, or if you're listening to us on a podcasting platform, leave us a review. 5 stars will be best, but whatever you think we deserve. And man, we are thick in December. We're getting so close. In fact, this week it is Craven the Hunter coming out. And also we have Creature Commandos on TV. And in a couple weeks, we are going to be seeing What If Season 3. It's a great time to be a superhero fan. Before we talk about all of the superhero goodness, of course, I got to say, what's up to my good friend Ladi. Ladi, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing well, man. Doing good. When I have a little time, I've been playing a little bit of Path of Exile, but besides that, been doing a lot of sleeping.
Path of Exile, is that that's an RPG? Is that
Yeah,
a
it's an ARPG.
okay? That's what I thought. Is that one of those free to play ones, or do you actually have to buy it?
Well, the game is not out, and if you want to play it right now, it's like $30, but it's not bad.
Okay, I hear you. I've heard of Path of Exile, but like most games, I hear about them. I'm like, that sounds cool, and I never play them. Like, see, also my Steam, and my GOG.com account, and also see my Epic Game Store. It is embarrassing to to say the least.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, so I guess you haven't had a ton of nerdy stuff to get up to, but I've been trying to pick up the slack a little bit. I started playing Marvel Rivals. I played a few hours worth of that, and we're gonna talk about that later. I've just been watching. I watched Creature Commandos. One thing I think you'll find this interesting. I started watching Secret Level on Amazon Prime, which I don't know if you're
I,
aware of it. You
I
know what I'm talking
forgot
about?
that. Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah,
It's
they
out now.
yeah, they dropped all 7 episodes, and they're not long. They're some the second one, which is based on Sifu, is 9 minutes long. But the first one is and you'll really appreciate this. It's a D&D, like little 15-minute D&D, like episode, and I think you'll really appreciate it because I know how much you like. Well, I mean, we love D&D anyway, but and Pathfinder, but it's also, we are really into Vox Machina, so I think you'll find it very interesting. But I've only watched 2 episodes. It's interesting so far, and I'm gonna keep up with that. Really, but I know it's for you because you're a gamer for real though.
Hmm.
And beyond that, just trying to keep up with all this superhero stuff, man. It's hard out here. It's hard out here for a person with 2 jobs and content creating and trying to, like, I don't know, actually watch stuff for fun that doesn't involve making content. So
Yeah.
lots it's tough, but I'm making it happen. That being said, this is the Supercast, where, of course, we talk about superhero stuff in our pop culture media, and we got some good stuff to talk about this week. It's a bit of a small news week, but some interesting tidbits. For instance, we're going to talk about the Golden Globe nominations. How did superhero media fare in the the area where Hollywood tends to kind of look down on our favorite pastime. I'm going to briefly talk about my experience with Creature Commandos, episodes 1 and 2 that just dropped last week. I will also talk about my experience with Marvel Rivals, my limited experience with it, and whether or not I'm going to keep on playing. We got a bombshell about Chris Evans and his next superhero appearance. And then we're going to talk about all of the things that we are looking forward to in 2025. There's, surprise, surprise, a lot of superhero stuff on deck. So, Lottie, we got a good little chunk of stuff to talk about, man. Are you ready to get into this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Well, let's get into it. So the Golden Globes, like the red. I don't want to call it the redheaded stepchild, but kind of the not as good as the Oscars, but still and it's not the Emmys. It's it's but it's an awards show, and everyone wants to get recognized. But there's like a million and one categories. Lottie, have you ever seen how many categories the Golden Globes have? I feel like they have best craft services and best extra that was in that one episode. I feel like that's a
Yeah,
category in the Golden
yeah,
Globes. So when you see stuff get, you get recognized, you're like, how the hell is that okay, whatever. Y'all just giving out trophies. If I don't want to say it's a participation thing, but you know what I'm saying. But either way, the Golden Globe nominations have come out. So of course we wanted to see, if Hollywood was going to snub our genre of entertainment, right? Like on the real, they do like to turn their nose up. But that being said, um, we do have some nominations, right? And they make sense to me. So Lottie, Colin Farrell and Kristen Milioti, big surprise, were nominated in their limited series, the like best lead actor, lead actress in a limited series for The Penguin. Catherine Hahn was picked up. She got a nomination for Best Performance by a Female Actor in a TV Series, musical or comedy for Agatha All Along. And then Deadpool and Wolverine were nominated in the Cinematic Box Office Achievement category, which, let me tell you, does that not sound like, most popular movie? It sounds like it to me. So, not a wide range of recognition, but some recognition from some kind of things that made waves, at least in the comic book fan community. So, Lottie, uh, you hear these nominations. Are you surprised by any of them? And like, what do you think of for real? What do you think about that Deadpool one? Like, that the category they put it into.
a box office achievement category, cinematic and box. Come on, man. This just sounds stupid. So, oh man, movies that did well in the box office. Like, oh my, that's crazy.
That's
I
like when
mean, of course,
it's like when the Oscar were like most popular. Yeah, most popular movie.
Colin Farrell and Kristen winning. I mean, not winning, but getting nominated. Of course, if you watch The Penguin, if I don't care if you're not a superhero fan or whatever, watch the fucking Penguin. Shut the fuck up and watch the Penguin.
But it's
Is all I will say.
but Lottie, it's got a Batman. It's got a guy in the Batman suit in it, and also a guy that's a penguin, right? Am I right? That's what it sounds like from a distance, right? It's
Yeah, they can suck it with that.
no, it's the freaking Sopranos. Like it's like if you honestly, if this wasn't called the Penguin, if it was called if it was called Cobblepot or whatever, people would look at it like, because like there's no Batman in it, like there's no
Yeah,
Batman, so it really is just a crime drama, which I feel like is a little bit cheating if I'm being perfectly honest. Like
yeah,
it doesn't really own up to its comic book nature. And to be fair, the Batman doesn't either. The Batman almost is just like, oh well, this guy's got some trauma and he's kind of not right in the head, and he plays dress up and beats the shit out of people. And there's no other costume anybody. And really the only other costume person was Riddler. And this Penguin's not he's not he's not in a layer that's made to look out like it's the South Pole. He's just a guy with a limp, and he's a
I mean,
sociopath.
at one point though, his place was underground during the winter.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, he was in the Iceberg Lounge. It's not it's. I like the show. I'm just saying it really barely says that it's a comic book thing. Like really,
Yeah.
like to be fair. Not so with Catherine Hahn and her best performance by a female actor in a TV show. The musical or comedy is so that it doesn't have to compete with like the bigger, more prestige things, but still, not so. I know you haven't seen it, but it makes sense to me. Catherine Hahn is well. First of all, I will say she's generally speaking great in whatever she shows up in, like just in general. Like whenever I see her in things, she's usually good. Um, in this case, she was great. Like that, the show's awesome, and I really loved it. But it's it revolves around her, and she has to play many different angles of this character. She's not just we saw her in the WandaVision. She some of that's in there, but there's some more vulnerability. There's some more wickedness or whatever. So I think it's well deserved. She's not gonna win. Well deserved though. And then finally, Lottie Deadpool. Uh, Deadpool and Wolverine. Are you surprised at all that it would be nominated for something? I mean, it did make over $1 billion.
That is what you call literally making literally making an award just so Deadpool and Wolverine can win an award. Because we all know Deadpool and Wolverine is not a movie that wins awards. It just makes people bank. That's all it is, you know,
I mean, yeah,
which is the most
pretty
important
much.
thing. Because
I'm
who cares about these movies that be winning movie of the year and all that stuff that nobody fucking watched? You know, it's
w-
always like that every year.
well, yeah. I mean, but to be fair to those movies, like I do like movies outside of superhero stuff. Sometimes we
Oh
do
yeah, I do
miss.
too.
I mean, we
Oh
we
no, Joe,
sometimes we
trust me,
miss
I do
those.
too. But
Yeah,
it's like there are some movies that you'll that like that they will give like movie of the year to that literally no one watched. And I'm not talking about like I'm not this has nothing to do with being a comic book fan. I'm like literally the box office of the movie was like 600,000. Like only like preppy people watch that movie, but somehow some way it's movie of the year, you know?
I mean, that's true enough. The thing is that it's, as I like to say, art is not it's not the good or bad or whatever the quality of art. It's not judged by how popular it is because if that were the case, you know, things that are more popular. Well, the context I'm putting here is in music people like to throw out numbers, like numbers, numbers, numbers. That's what matters. And I'm like, no, numbers just tell you. I mean, that's like saying that fine dining is not as good as McDonald's because more people eat McDonald's. Well, I mean, that's great and everything,
Hmm.
but they don't make McDonald's food good. It just means a
Yeah.
lot of people eat it. And that doesn't make Drake's music better than anybody else's music just because a lot of people buy it. So it's the same. Art is that way. Some of the least watched things are some of the best movies, but they don't always necessarily hit with a large audience because some people don't like to be challenged. They don't like their not even just worldviews, but it's just like their sensibilities. They don't want to think hard about things. They just want you know quick and easy. And in a sense, superhero movies do sort of play on some of that because they're morality tales generally speaking that don't have a ton of nuance in the abstract. It's only when you kind of drill into them, kind of like with the Winter Soldier, Civil War, those sorts of things, where you start seeing like a different side, or even with the Batman, where you draw people in with kind of the comic bookiness and then make them think about actually well there's some real stuff going on here, which is why I like Penguin's actually very nuanced in that way. So do like that they got nominated. Don't think they're gonna win, but good good on all of these guys. I think there's a good chance that Kristen Milioti wins it because good night that woman. In the Penguin, geez, she's ferocious. I think that's a good way
Oh
to
yeah.
say it. She's ferocious. So we'll see. We'll get we'll keep an eye on this. Let you guys know all about who may win if they do win. So moving on to let's talk about Creature Commandos. Except that Lottie doesn't get to talk about this because he didn't get to see it yet. I do encourage you to go watch it, sir. Because I knew
I'll watch it.
new episode comes out on Thursday. They're only 20 minutes, so they're a nice brisk clip, I think. So that said,
I'll probably watch it right before I go to bed tonight.
yeah, it won't take you very long. But that being said, I will give my kind of my non spoiler thoughts on it, which is I'm not gonna bury the lead. It's pretty good. Is it Peacemaker good? I don't think so. Is it the Suicide Squad good? I don't think so yet. I've only 2 episodes in. That's like judging the Suicide Squad based on the first, three, quarter of the movie. Or first third of the movie, not even third of the movie, because this is a 7 episode series, so we literally are just getting the first act here. That being said, um, it's got some interesting stuff going on in it. I like Rick Flag Sr. Um, I like all of the range of powers and interesting things. We haven't seen a lot about who these people are except for the bride. I love the voice acting is really good. The animation is cool. I enjoyed just kind of the setup, but I will say if you've watched any of the Suicide Squad movies or whatever, it's just Suicide Squad with monsters again. So it really is the devil is going to be in the details. Do you like these characters? Do you like what they're going through? Um, we got to see. I will say you get to see Cersei is like the main villain, I suppose. You get to see a bit of her in the first couple episodes, and I'm really happy about it because she seems really cool, and I like Anya Shalotra, the actress who is voicing her. Um, the bride's very interesting. We also get to see Frankenstein's monster, Doctor Frankenstein himself. Um, it's got a lot of James Gunn in it. Well, what can I say? There is a couple bits in the second uh episode that are super James Gunn, that are so James Gunn, right? Um, but it's just barely getting started. Like I said, I think it's cool. I enjoyed it. Um, I'm not like at this point I haven't seen enough to say, oh yeah, this is Peacemaker level. I haven't seen enough yet, but we're getting there. But so I encourage you all go check that out. Give it a look. Let us know how you feel about it. I think we're gonna probably do a series review when it's all said and done. Because like I said, it's 7 episodes, so probably I want to say the last episode is gonna be the first week of January, and we'll probably talk about it then. So that being said, I do have another review, and it's going to be about Marvel Rivals. Lottie, I don't think you're going to have time to play this game. You might. If I don't know how do you feel about Overwatch type games?
Yeah, I'm not a hero shooter type person. I'm not really into that. Our brother's having a blast with it. You know, you probably can't hear him, but he's screaming Hulk smash.
Oh, of course he would. Of course he would. I'm surprised he didn't like. Let me think of the character that people are just like fuck that character. I think Iron Fist right now is the most hated character. I thought it was gonna be Jeff the Land Shark because he's got that ultimate that like pisses people off. It's like where his ultimate is he has an area and he'll swallow up whoever's in that area, friend or foe, and then he can kind of like swim through the ground to wherever he wants and then spit them out. So he can literally spit you out into the out of bounds, right? Uh, and so I thought he was going to be the most hated, but Iron Fist apparently is that guy that people don't like. So
Why they hate Iron Fist so much?
he's a menace if he gets up on you, he's a menace. Especially if you're a really squishy character like I play, like if you play support, if you play the strategist, you don't have a lot of health, right? So getting run up on by somebody that can just like tap you a few times and you're dead, it's annoying. Like it's trust, and it's hard to get away from people. Like when they're up on you like that, it's hard. Like as a strategist, you have escape options, but like I play Rocket. I've only really played Rocket Raccoon.
Mm-hmm.
and he's got some cool stuff, but like he can be God. Like he's got the he can dash away into the air and kind of float there, but he got to come down at some point. And Spider-Man can totally get up there. There's some people that can fly and come get you. Um, but Iron Fist, once he corners you, you're basically dead. Which is fine. Like sometimes this is the sort of game where a lot of stuff happens, right? There's a lot of stuff happening in front of you, and you're not quite sure sometimes, and then you're just dead, because just it's like a lot of things going on. So, you know, I went into this thinking I'm gonna play as a character I like from the books, not as a character type that I like to play. So I chose Squirrel Girl, and I learned very quickly uh she's not the one for me, and I hate that because I love Squirrel Girl. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, and I really realized like I can't being up in the mix like that. It's hard to understand what's happening. It's hard to control with the mouse and keyboard. Uh, it's there's too much going on, and I'm not going to be able to control the things the way I want to. So I decided to play support, and also a lot of people don't want to play support characters. Uh, a surprise, Lottie, in these shooters, even though a balanced team with people that understand their roles will win more often, people don't like to play those roles. So I elected. It's kind of like when I was a kid, I would elect I learned to like
Mm-hmm.
the candy that people like less because then I they just give me the candy they didn't like as much, right? So I'm playing a
Yeah,
character that that people don't like as much,
yeah,
and it was actually fun. I like
yeah,
playing.
that sounds about right.
I
That
like
sounds
playing
about right
Rocket.
because that's one of the reasons why, like I said, I'm not too much of a fan of playing a lot of these games because people don't care to play the game. They just care to get kills or they'll be like, "Oh man, I was popping off," and I'm like, "Well, bro, we lost the match. I don't care. I got my stats. I don't care."
Well, it also helps that I didn't play ranked. Like I have no intention of playing ranked. At least not until I understand the game better and understand the role my character plays as a support player. But playing Rocket, he's a 1 star in terms of how hard he is to play, which is good because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Uh, but it was fun in the sense that he doesn't have a ton of like extra things to do. Like especially the melee characters, there's a bunch of things you can do. Like there's multiple like commands you can do to play them right. But with Rocket, it's pretty much heal with the left, left mouse click, hurt people with, shoot them with the right mouse click. I mean, the left mouse click, heal them with the right. And then there's a couple of, I can throw out turrets or whatever that can heal or armor up or people, right? And then I can dash away and float, and I can crawl up walls. And then I have that's pretty much it. And I'm like, all right, simple enough. Spam healing at people and shoot when I can shoot, and then try not to get killed, and throw my turret out as often as it's available, right? And then the other cool thing is I like about the game is they tell you, like, first of all of the characters are available. We talked about that last week. 33 characters available. There's some, they're different archetypes. People can play more or less the kind of archetype they or the role they like that makes sense to them. Each of the members of that particular you know class, they do similar things, but they don't do it the same way, right? So like with support character, the strategist they call them, Cloak and Dagger are that, but they're different because you can switch between Cloak or Dagger, right? You can play. You don't have both at the same time. You switch between them. Cloak lets you, basically you can go between Dark Force dimension to get away. And then they heal and all this stuff, and they buff and debuff, stuff like that. It's interesting, but it's not overly complicated unless you want it to be. So like I enjoyed the match there. I did quick play matches, so I didn't, and I didn't talk to anyone. That's the important thing. Lottie, I don't like playing online with people because I don't want to sit here and hear people say the N word and all this other shit. I did not have my voice stuff on. I heard nothing. I just ran around and played, and I saw people would do text, whatever, but I don't have time for. I don't see how people can text and play at the same time. Um, and that's it. And I ran around, and since I'm Rocket, it's very simple. I'm just healing people as much as I can, right? And when I won some game, I won half the games I played. So I'm enjoying it. I want to play more. I don't know if I have time to play more, and I definitely don't have time to be good at the game. But it's it's enjoyable. Lottie, I mean, I don't know how well again, I don't know how well you would enjoy playing this game, but it's full of a lot of people that don't know what the fuck they're doing right now. So it's a lot less competitive. And if you just play quick play pickup, casual games, yeah, I have been feeling the pressure. I was just like, I'm just playing casual game. I'm trying to figure out this game out. I'm not worried about ranking. I'm not worried about whether or not we're how many we're losing. It's cool to win, but I just like to play. So I think it's fun. If you're a Marvel fan, give it a spin. If you got a PC or PS5 or Xbox Series, whatever, it's available. It's free to play. Obviously they want you to buy shit from them, but like, I'm not doing that. Lottie, I'm not doing that. I'm cheap.
Yeah.
But as is, I mean, if this is what Overwatch was like when it first started and before people got really intense about it, I could see why it got big. I can see. And Marvel Rivals, as long as they keep the spirit of what they're doing now, which is, hey, if you're a casual and you just like Marvel characters, you want to run around and kind of do some superhero shit, cool, you can do that. And if you want to be real sweaty and like, get rack up them kills and get your, leveled up to whatever the fuck it is and ranked, you can do that too. It's just something, it's fun. And I'm enjoying seeing people on social media that are, that I follow, that follow me, that are like, they're getting into it. And I can, some of them are gamers, some of them aren't. This isn't their type of game, but they're giving it a whirl. And that's good because people love Marvel. This is to me an indication people love Marvel. And also, Lottie, agree or disagree with this statement that Marvel is dropping the fucking ball on their video game side, that they need to get it together because people want, I bet you, if they paid Capcom to just make a new entry in Marvel superheroes or X Men versus whatever, and
Or
if
Marvel
they just
versus
make
Capcom.
well, let's say forget Marvel versus Capcom, just a straight up MCU. I'm not even saying Marvel comics, MCU fighter, right? In the vein of like a Marvel superheroes, I think it would sell. As long as it would have to be casual friendly, but I think it could sell it, or at least something. People want to play these games. Am I wrong about that?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That is one of the biggest things that Disney's dropping the ball in. Like I've said this before, that yeah, Disney, Marvel rules, the MCU rules the box office, but they are behind DC and everything else in animation and uh in animation and the gaming, because like we all know, DC doesn't play. DC gives their IP to everybody. NetherRealm has a bit of it. Rocksteady has a bit of it. They just say, "Hey, make us money," and
Yeah,
people are making good games. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you got Xbox about to make a Wonder Woman movie. You got all these different companies making video games, but Marvel is just the creator of God of War said he will love to make a Thor movie. And instead of you know how Bob Iger is like jumping at everything when he hears a person wants to be in the MCU, he should be doing that when the creator of fucking God of War wants to make a game for you. You should be
yeah,
literally about to catch a heart attack when the man who made God of War wants to make a Thor game.
yeah.
But
I
no,
mean, I
you
mean,
know,
he went ahead and he went ahead and just made God of War, God of Thor. Really,
exactly.
it's. I mean, I think they could do more, and I think it's interesting that James Gunn is actually being explicit. Like, yeah, we're gonna do video games, and they're gonna be related to the to what's going on in the DCU. So very
Hmm.
interesting on that side. But like I said, Marvel Rivals, it seems fun so far. It hasn't gotten too toxic yet. They've I think they've got a balance they've got a patch out, but it's only to fix bugs, so they haven't started balancing it because people are complaining about characters or anything like that.
I'm
And every character can is there's no
Wait, so
definitive bottom tier character.
are people complaining, or are you saying nobody's complaining about it?
Oh, are people complaining about balance? Oh, of
Yeah.
course. Every game, competitive game, has complaining about balance. It's a given. You may as well, it's built into any competitive game. But that being said, I think the general consensus I've seen is that yeah, some characters are kind of ridiculous, but every character has the potential to be ridiculous because they've kind of at this point every character sort of has something that in the right hands could be ridiculous. Like people be talking about combos, and I'm like, I'm still trying to figure this game out. I don't know what combo you talking about, but they it's not so out. Like I said, I thought Jeff the Land Shark would be the most hated, and he's not, even though his ultimate is pretty ridiculous, right? Uh, but Storm's ultimate is kind of crazy too. So is Scarlet Witch's ultimate is crazy. Like it's there's these are some straight up you're dead if they hit you with it situations. Um, but people seem to be fine with what's going on. Like I think the kind of the genius of the game is that because everyone sort of has something good going for them, and because of the frantic nature of the game, and that people are just kind of new to it, and they really are just
Hmm.
enjoying playing a character that they like. You can just sort of jump in there, and like as you play more, you realize, oh, I don't like this archetype as much, and you gravitate towards the things that work for you, and there's enough there for everybody. So I get like this could be a kind of a long term game, and we'll just see. Everyone's kind of into it right now. We'll see in like 6 months how we're feeling about it, especially as they roll out more characters. Because 33 characters, that's cool, but there's tons. Like there's no Fantastic Four in this, right? So when are they going to bring them in? That's what I'm saying. Like there's not a ton of villains in this, right? So there's
Hmm.
so many places they could go with this. And then the whole MCU, how do they bring in the MCU skins and all that other stuff for cosmetics. I think they could potentially have something here. So we'll see. I'm gonna keep playing, and hopefully I'll see you guys out there. Blurred Force One, all in caps, and one at the end, not ONE, but just the number one. Blurred Force One. Add me to your friends list, and if I'm on, we can play. So moving on to something, look, a little bit of big news, but not surprising news, I will say. Not surprising news. And Lottie, I mean, I don't think you called this, but I feel like you can pick up the phone anyway on this because our man Chris Evans is returning to the MCU. And by returning, I mean not just like in Deadpool and Wolverine where he's playing Johnny Storm, but he's coming back for Avengers Doomsday and in an unnamed role. But I mean, like, what role could? Don't be saying, don't be y'all playing just an unnamed role. What possible role could Chris Evans play in Avengers Doomsday? So Lottie, like I said, I don't know if you necessarily call this, but you can, you can say it.
Oh
You're
yeah,
welcome to
I
say
called it. I called it.
it.
I told people that what's the call will be back, and everyone was like, I'm like, Captain America's gonna be back in the MCU. He's I said I was telling people what they're gonna do is pretty much he's going to be, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is. I'm calling it now. It's not gonna be Eva Captain America, what everyone thinking is. No, it's going to be an even better Captain America. It's going to be a Captain America that was beyond. That is beyond the one that we had. He's going to be extremely good, but his universe got fucked up, and now he's trying to stop what Doctor Doom, Tony Stark, is trying to do, and pretty much it's gonna get the band back together. Deadpool might show up a little bit and be like, "Oh my God, it's the real Captain America," and he's like, "I'm the only Captain America." Some joke like that.
Well, the toxic bros would love to hear that. Like that's the only real Captain America. What if it was Captain Universe, Captain America? Because we haven't seen Captain Universe, and for you guys that aren't really in the Marvel comics like that, but Captain Universe is not a person, but a cosmic entity that attaches itself at from time to different heroes and gives them ridiculous powers. Spider-Man, Captain Universe, Spider-Man is probably the most notorious, but it has attached itself to many people over the years. Wouldn't it be dope if Captain America was actually Captain Universe though?
I can
Because
see it.
then, yeah, well, because remember Doomsday leads to Secret and not Secret Agent, but Secret Wars, and Secret Wars is where Doctor Doom wins and recreates reality into the big battle world. So Captain Universe would have something to say about that, I think. But also, what if instead of that, and here's the other one I was thinking of, what if this was Steve Rogers from the What If series in the Hydro Stomper? Remember if Iron Man in this alternate universe is Doctor Doom, if Tony Stark is Doctor Doom, I'm assuming this is Tony Stark, is Doctor Doom in this alternate universe? What if in that same universe it was the what if scenario where Steve Rogers, rather than becoming Captain America, is instead a prototypical Iron Man? Remember, the Hydro Stomper is basically like, an Iron Man armor. So what if he's the Iron Man for that universe and
Hmm.
Tony is Doctor Doom for that universe? It's a possibility. And it would also, more importantly, yeah, I mean, great Chris Evans. We love him. We love Chris Evans. But more importantly, it would get my girl, one of my favorite actors, and Peggy Carter, like not I mean Haley Atwell, aka Peggy Carter, aka Captain, it's a Captain Britain, or not Captain Britain, Captain Carter,
Hmm.
who we saw briefly in an awesome situation in Multiverse of Madness. And I was like, how dare y'all have her in there for such a short time? Hey, Miss Haley Atwell deserves more time in that, with she deserves more time with that shield and in that suit kicking ass. So wouldn't it be cool to see her, her and Steve, Mary? Because remember, in What If he's Hydro Stomper, but he's also the Winter Soldier, right?
Hmm.
In What If, and she's been gone away in a dimensional portal. Now she's back. They reunite. They are the Iron Man and Captain America going against Doom. I mean, a brother can dream, can he? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's a what if scenario.
I mean,
Um.
there's a lot they can do.
Oh
There's
yeah.
a lot they can do.
So I guess my thing is though he's gonna be Captain America, right? Let's be real. He's gonna be Captain America.
Yeah. You don't bring back Chris Evans to not pick up the shield again.
I
You
mean,
know.
pretty much. Unless you're gonna have him, flame on and then get his flesh rended away from him, like in Deadpool and Wolverine. Which would be even funnier. I'm not even gonna lie. If they swerved us again on that, and that was who he was. He was Johnny Storm again in
But
in
a Johnny
Doomsday.
Storm that became but a Johnny Storm that became Captain America.
I will take that. Like, there's so many things they could do. I look, we'll see. Not surprising though. And also, they were saying the news that kind of talked about that was saying all these people that were definitely coming back. So I mean, it's like the class reunion. Everyone's coming back. Some of them are coming back and they're like not as accomplished as the other people. Like one, RDJ's coming back. He's got that statue. He's got the Oscar. Chris Evans coming back after a string of somewhat whatever movies. Right. He
Especially
got he
Red
got paid.
bullshit
He
one.
he got
Red one,
paid.
baby.
He got paid, but like, hey, he knows where everyone loves him. So, which is not fair to Chris Evans. He's a good actor, but it is what it is. Glad to see him come back to the MCU. Lottie, I will ask you though. I was listening to someone else talk about this. Not like Double Toast was talking about this, and I think this is a fair question. Do you think that them bringing back RDJ and uh, also bringing back Chris Evans, and at some point, inevitably Scarlett Johansson. Let's just call it what like we see it. ScarJo's coming back, right? So is this desperation on the part of Marvel to kind of get their mojo back?
Well, I usually will say no, but with the amount of money they paid Robert Downey Jr. to come back, and then the Russo brothers, and probably what they're gonna have to pay, they're probably because I doubt Chris Evans is coming back for a discount. I kind of want to say it's a little bit of desperation, and it's unfortunate because it's almost like they saw Deadpool and Wolverine do well, and instead of thinking people watch the movie because they love Deadpool, and we've been waiting for the end of the trilogy for over 6 years and saw that, but instead they say, "Oh, hey, they like seeing characters be brought back to life. Let's bring them all back."
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
yeah. I think it's weird to dig into the nostalgia bin already, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I get like you think about Spider-Man No Way Home and it digs into the nostalgia bin, right? And it does with an understanding that, Tobey Maguire hadn't been Spider-Man for a long time, right? And Andrew Garfield hadn't been Spider-Man for a while either, right? But I mean, and to be fair, bringing Andrew Garfield in may have been about the same amount of time as between the Endgame and then the Doomsday movie, which I think is in a couple of years. Um, maybe I'm right, but it feels weird to be nostalgia baiting so damn early, right? It's very strange, very very like Deadpool and Wolverine. It did nostalgia bait, but it went back and got Hugh Jackman, who hadn't been Wolverine like for near a decade, right? And Blade, it got what's her name, Jennifer Garner. It got Wesley Snipes. It got Channing Tatum, who was never, but he had 10 years ago. They were trying to make a Gambit thing. Well, nostalgia baiting that way. I'm like, all right, at least there's a decade or more separating. This is like, Endgame was 2019, and by the time this movie comes out, it'll be what 7 years. It's going to back to the well too early, and I think it betrays a bit of a lack of confidence in what they're doing, and or maybe a lack of confidence in us, the audience, because you and I we will go see this stuff, but mainstream audience they have to be won over again, I guess.
Well,
Uh,
here's my thing with that, and this is where Disney, not everything has to be a fucking billion-dollar movie. Go back and look at your movies throughout the MCU. How many of those movies were billion-dollar ones? Not a lot of them. I mean, yeah, they had Avengers 1, Avengers 2. All the Avengers made a billion. You have maybe I guess Captain America Winter Soldier, right? Did it make a billion?
I
Either
don't remember.
If it was a
I,
billion, it was like close. It was like close to a billion. It was either right at a billion or close to a billion. So I guess I'll count that. But after that, and then you had Black Panther. But after that, a lot of their
uh,
movies were what?
I mean, you had
A bunch of
Captain.
500.
Well, you had Captain Marvel made 1 billion.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
Captain Marvel. But yeah, but think of phase 1 through 3. That's probably what, 20 plus movies? So more than half of them didn't make a billion. A lot of them made 500, 600, 700 million dollars. That's okay, Marvel. You don't need to make $1 billion every movie. And I think that's what they're chasing. They want every single one of their movies to make a billion. And you can just tell with their over budget, like, because everyone was telling me, because people are like, "Oh, well, you can't really blame," they're telling me the new Captain America movie. They're like, "Well, you can't really blame Captain America having a massive budget. They wanted to get the movie right." I'm like, um, "Guys, that movie was going to at least make," I'm like, "Guys, it's the name of the movie's Captain America. At a minimum, it's going to make 500 to 600 million. They want the movie to be $1 billion movie. That's why they're doing all these extensive reshoots, changing the name and everything, because they want it to be $1 billion movie, and it's killing them. Just just make movies now. Like, stop trying to chase that $1 billion. And that is the problem of everything. They're trying to make every movie $1 billion, and it just doesn't work. I don't understand why they're still doing it, but we'll see what they do, man.
yeah, well, I mean, money. That's why they're doing it, for the love of art, but really money. And at some point in Hollywood, I think the thing about the Captain America reshoots and everything, the multiple reshoots and retooling and whatever, is they can't let they can't let there be any stink beyond the Captain America name, right? So they've got to get it right, and they're willing to pay money to keep the franchise going in a positive direction. I get that. Look, if McDonald's, if McDonald's didn't keep bringing the McRib back, right? If they were just like if every time if they brought that back the McRib and they changed the formula and it was grosser than it already is, and people are like, "Ugh, this McRib sucks," and then they just like they just never brought the McRib out again for like 5 years, and then they brought it back. No one would be like, "Yay, McRib," right? They'd be like, "Man, that shit was trash last time," right?
Yeah.
So they're afraid that Captain America is going to be tarnished by a bad movie, which is a fair assessment. See also Sony, right? And I didn't put this on something to talk about, but Sony, we'll talk about this when next week because Craven's coming out. But Craven's the last movie in for a while in the Sony only no Spider-Man universe, which has been driven into the fucking ground by mediocre and terrible movies and an occasional win, but mostly terrible movies. Like to put it in perspective, Sony's track record with the non-Spider-Man universe, the Venomverse, whatever the fuck you want to call it, is worse than the DCEU. It's worse. You know how
Yeah.
fucking hard you have to work to be worse than the DCEU as a track record? That that's a special achievement. The Golden Globes need to make a category specifically for the Sony Spider-Man-less universe to win for fucking up the franchise because it's that bad. And so they are they tarnishing the whole Sony Spider-Man-less verse, and Craven's going to be the last one. And Craven could be excellent. I'm not saying it is. It could be excellent. It could be really good. But it doesn't matter because they're not going to make anymore because they've shit the bed too much. And fortunately, you know what? Fortunately for them, Marvel wanted to make movies with Spider-Man and they made a deal with them. That's the only thing keeping Spider-Man like away from that shit, right? And so the Spider-Man name is good, but all this other stuff is trash. So, as I said before, Madam Web has effectively ruined several characters for at least 10 years, right? Morbius is, if Morbius is ever in a movie again, it's definitely going to be a Spider-Man movie where he can't fuck it up, right? And so I think Marvel is right to not want to put that stink on their stuff the same way that Sony has. Sony has ruined it. And and so they have to spend the money. You got to spend the money to make sure that that happens. Um, to that end, also, people also know that the MCU is a huge franchise, that they're going to market the fuck out of it. They're going to merchandise the fuck out of it. They're going to monetize
Mm-hmm.
the fuck out of it. So I need my money up front. I ain't waiting for no back end points or any of that shit. I need my cash now. Because I already know y'all Disney, y'all big time. Y'all gonna put my name, my face, and my name and my character shit all over everything. Why y'all need to pay me like I'm gonna be doing that? And whether or not y'all make a good movie, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I just show up and say my lines, and I'm the face, right? I ain't write this. There's only y'all to make this something good. I just gotta act, and you have to be fair to these actors. They don't write the stories, right? Remember what I
Yeah.
said about Madam Web? The problem with Madam Web is entirely direction and writing. Because I don't blame any actor that shows up to a movie thinking that it's going to be something, and then it's garbage and it's nothing, and they're changing it in the middle of it of what you're doing. Like, who's going to be enthusiastic for that? How are you going to get a good performance out of that? Only really the best actors can turn shit into less bad shit. You know what I'm saying? So, with all that being said, you know, I don't think that budgets can reasonably come down on Marvel movies. And by reasonably, I mean, sure, if it's Captain America, not even Captain America, sure, if it's Bucky Barnes versus, you know, organized crime, if it's Hawkeye fighting some dudes, that ain't gonna cost anything, right? If it's Hulk and Thor and freaking Ant-Man versus, Galactus, this I mean, forget about it. That's $250 million.
Oh, yeah, that
You,
makes
you
sense. Yeah.
you can't even do anything about that. It is built into, it's not even just the actors. It's built into it that that's going to cost a lot of money. So unless y'all are ready for more, if y'all want the MCU to be just Daredevil, and Daredevil and Luke Cage and guys on the street, we just have to accept that they have to, these budgets are going to be bigger. So it's on Marvel to understand you better make a movie that's worth 600, 600, 700, 800 million dollars worth of ticket sales, because if you don't, that's on you. you know
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm running on long about that. We talk about budgets a lot, and I think it's mainly because if they don't get their shit together, if they don't figure out the cost problem of superhero movies, we really are just gonna get that, Daredevil, or we're gonna get a lot of straight to Disney Plus, 7 episode, everyone's sitting around talking for a while, and it's gonna be CW shit, where they talk a lot and walk around without their costumes, and then for like 1-2 scenes, maybe you get some punching or shooting lasers or something. And nobody wants that. We
Yeah.
want cool stuff. So anyway, Chris Evans. I can't wait to see you suit up and get. You can't have Sam's shield, but you can have a. How about he gets that old shield like in like in the comics that looks like it should be on a dollar bill or something. Well, we'll take that. So anyway, when we find out more about this about Chris Evans, we'll talk about it all then. So, Lottie, it is the near the end of 2024, which is what a wild year. And for various reasons, it's been a wild year. It's been a year full of really cool stuff too. Actually, we got X-Men '97, which was a revelation. You know, we got the Penguin, we got Agatha all along. You know, it's been you know, we've had some whatever stuff, but you know, this was supposed to be Sony's year. Definitely was not. I don't know if you've seen Venom 3 yet, but
Mm-mm.
um
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
yeah, yeah, it's the least. So you know, some good stuff, not it's not so good stuff, but with all that being said, 2025 is looking up. You know, we're going to talk about our favorite stuff of 2024 after we've seen What If, because I want that to be included. But we can look forward to the next year, and there's quite a bit of good stuff. Marvel's got like a huge slate of things. DC not so much. If to be honest, the only thing DC's got going on is Superman, but Marvel's got a lot of things happening, and I thought we'd talk about these and talk about our most what we're most looking forward to in you know in 2025. And so, Lottie, I got a good list here. Marvel Studios movies, just the movies. We got Captain America 4, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four. To me, which one? What are you most looking forward to out of the three of those? And I guess we'll say which one do you think will hit most?
Fantastic Four. I think it will hit more because I think people want to see a new Fantastic Four movie. That's my main reason. I just think Fantastic Four's been gone long enough that there's a appetite for it. You know what I mean? That's just me.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, I know I am, but you know, it's hard for us to we're not a good indicator, I think, of audience interest. I mean, you know, as far as I'm concerned, pretty sure we want to see all three of these, but I think Fantastic Four are definitely because as much as people don't like those Fantastic Four movies, um, a lot of people did actually like them, or at least recognize them for what they, you know, for what they were. They were entertaining. People weren't super into the comics, so they just kind of liked it for what it was, right? And so they're recognizable. They're, you know, very recognizable to a certain demographic. And for younger people, like they'll just, you know, show up for that. I think I can agree with you. Fantastic Four is probably going to be the bigger movie. You know, of course, it all depends on how strong the script and everything direction is. I think that's probably true, but I have to say, and you know, no shade to Sam Wilson, who I love. I'm really looking forward to Thunderbolts. Like for real, looking forward to Thunderbolts. That little trailer we saw that they you know they showed down in Brazil, and then we eventually got. I'm so ready for this. um, in no small part because Florence Pugh is, you know, our favorite. But also, you know, I've been recently just seeing people talking about Florence Pugh and Black Widow, and then thinking about her in Hawkeye and how much I loved her there, and then hearing from the director of the movie that she is basically the main character of the movie, and these are all aspects, you know, of this movie that lead me to be excited because she should lead the movie. Yelena's great, you know, she's a great character, and she is our basically our Black Widow now. And I do want to see
Yeah.
her more run around and do the things that Natasha did, but she does it obviously in her own way. You know, she's not, you know, she's got her own way about it, but she's a kick ass woman, and she was really cool in Black Widow and funny. She's got a great personality, just like everything, and I can't wait. And then you know, just seeing her bounce off of you know Walmart Captain America, and you know seeing her you know bounce off of Alexei, you know that her kind of her surrogate dad. I'm so interested in that, and I love David Harbour as you know as Alexei, aka Red Guardian. There's just a lot of interesting stuff there, and we don't even really know what it's all about. And also, the Sentry is hanging in the wings. Like I'm just excited for that. I
I'm
still, I'm,
interested to I'm interested to see how Disney's gonna make a James Gunn movie without James Gunn. You know, because let's be honest, this looks 100% like a movie that James Gunn will be directing if he was still with Marvel.
yeah, I agree. The thing is, at the very least, it seems to have caught the correct um like tone. You know what I'm saying? And I know people be like,
Mhm.
why is it always got to be jokey and everything? I'm like, have you seen the people that are in this movie? Bucky is literally gonna be he's gonna be the guy that the killjoy or whatever. He's gonna be the I'm grimdark serious, and everyone else is just like being ridiculous. Like even John Walker is even like he's the butt of jokes. Bob is kind of like, hey, I'm Bob. I'm like, no, this is not. This is gonna be an action comedy. It's gonna be serious in certain parts, sure, but it's gonna be an action comedy, and I'm all for that. Like I'm all for Bucky being like super serious. Like basically, think about it this way. I'm all for Bucky being the Spider-Man noir out of this group. Like everybody else,
Mhm.
he's so serious, and everyone else is just kind of like, nah, this isn't that serious, dude. Like, chill out. um, and like I said, Captain America 4, I am interested in what's going on there. They're going to be talking about not vibranium, adamantium. They're going to be talking about Tiamat Island. The dude reaching up out of the Pacific Ocean. They're going to be talking about Sam's place in there. The Wakandans are mentioned. They created this new suit. We're getting Joaquin Torres, aka the new Falcon, coming into this bitch. The leader is back. There's a lot of stuff that's interesting in there, and of course, Red Hulk. Everyone's loves Red Hulk. There's a lot of interesting stuff there. I just hope that this reports about reshoots isn't just an indication of problems. That's all. And then, of course, Fantastic Four is Fantastic Four. It's what I now, Lottie. What I'm interested in seeing is the kind of retro futuristic shit that they're talking about. Like I feel like they're literally just like, let's look at the 60s and 70s comics and what they thought was like gonna be futuristic. And let's just make it and put it onto the screen. So it feels like Tomorrowland or the Rocketeer or something like that. Something like that. I feel like that's what it's gonna be like. Like you get what I'm saying, right? And of course we're gonna
Mhm.
get Galactus as an actual person and not like a swarm of shit, which which was ridiculous. But and a big dude in a purple suit, ready to eat your planet. So I'm interested. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what's going on there.
Or you can be like Marvel Rivals and have Galactus be the number one waifu.
That is a consequence of having having
It's called hero shooters. It's called hero. Every hero shooter needs a waifu, and they decided to make Galactus big, big mommy, big mommy waifu.
yeah, that's like big mommy big mommy energy, I guess. I mean, if that Galactus showed up, I'm like, oh, you can eat me all day. I'm good.
Mhm. Oh my God.
she look, it's I'm just saying they're Asian developers. Is this a surprise? Anime inspired anything? I will notice no one. I didn't hear anyone's being like, "How dare they gender swap Galactus?" I didn't hear one word about that. I wonder why. Lottie, why would nerds who normally get bitchy about these things, why would they not complain about this?
About gender swapping Galactus.
Yeah, why would they
Well,
not? Is there a reason? Can you think of any reason besides like being lame ass dudes
well,
that
the people that will get mad about it, they far they far dwarf the like I said, it's a hero shooter. every hero shooter demands a waifu. So if they would have kept Galactus a man, oh, the backfire of not having the poster girl waifu would have been way louder than why do they gender swaps? They knew what they were doing, and plus they picked a big woman for a reason. There is a
Oh,
massive population that like big that like what is it? You know,
muscle. Why I
you've
say call
seen
them muscle mommies. I've heard
yeah,
that
you've
before.
seen and don't even forget even in anime there's the big thing of like the super powerful goddess that likes the regular main character.
Yeah, it's I also call the people having real fantasies there, but it's that I think this Galactus, and this is where we're off topic here, but I think female Galactus has probably replaced Lady Dimitrescu. Am I saying that right?
Demetrescu, yeah.
I
Yeah.
think she's replaced her. I think
Yeah.
as the big the big baddie. You know what I'm saying?
Big moment.
Anyway, let's move on to Marvel TV. And Marvel TV is God, they've got a lot of stuff coming. Like I'm not even kidding. This year alone, we're getting Daredevil Born Again, Wonder Man, Eyes of Wakanda, and Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is a lot. That four things that are coming this year. And I'm trying to think why am I actually oh, and I forgot one. I actually forgot one on this list. We're also getting Marvel Zombies. So we're getting three animated things and two live action ones. Out of
Mhm.
those, like we're gonna watch all of them. I'm interested in all of them. But to me, probably by far the one that I'm most interested. Well, okay, the one I'm most interested in is Eyes of Wakanda because I love Black Panther. But the one that I think is going to break through the most is obviously Daredevil. Am I? I mean, I'm not wrong, am I?
No, you're not.
Uh,
The hype for that show is through the damn roof. You know, let's not pretend. Like Eyes of Wakanda will probably get like a really nice following, especially from the black nerd community. But let's be real, Daredevil Born Again is probably going to be probably the biggest show on TV when it comes out.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. I think
Like it'll be like number one on Netflix. I mean, not Netflix, like Disney Plus type shit. If it was on Netflix, it would be considered like the number one show on Netflix.
yeah, I think it's pretty clear as that people have been sort of they love the Netflix show and they've been sort of missing the more ground level stuff. But I think that it was really smart of them to just be like, oh yeah, all that stuff was canon. That that was taking place in the MCU. Where it's all in there, the Netflix stuff. It all happened in the MCU. Why you didn't see them show up for various things is reasons. Don't ask too many questions about that. They're just regular people. They don't have superpowers. Yes, ignore the fact that Black Widow and Hawkeye are also regular people. They were
But they're
busy and
secret agents.
they're busy in their neighborhoods doing things. So that's why. But the point is that was really smart. But also again, people really love Daredevil. Now, that being said, not as many people saw Daredevil as we think.
Hmm.
Like not as many people were watching that show. It's a very vocal fan base, no doubt. People loved it. But I think the numbers are going to be good, but I think they're going to be Disney Plus good.
Hmm.
I don't think they're going to be Game of Thrones good, to be honest. Um
Yeah.
no matter how good the show is, they're not going to be Game of Thrones good. I don't even think they'll be necessarily Penguin good. Because Penguin had was on HBO and Max. So it wasn't just one place that people
Yeah.
could check it out. But I think
And
it'll
that's
do well.
and also hear me out. This is one thing I did want to talk about. Why the fuck is Disney getting rid of their Disney Channel? like you have what Netflix and Amazon Prime doesn't have. You have a channel. Why are you getting rid of it? Why don't you have your shows come on Disney Channel too, so people don't have to get Disney Plus to watch it? Like I don't like you were just saying, because you know what Paramount's doing? Paramount's putting all their top shows on CBS and all of that. CBS. And like you just said, HBO, they're putting all their top shows that you can just watch on HBO. I don't get Disney sometimes. Like, why are you getting rid of the Disney Channel? What are you doing, Disney?
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, I hadn't heard that, but
yeah, Disney Channel is coming to an end
I mean,
in next
I
year.
I think it's because it's not a traditional broadcasting. Like, so people don't turn to Disney Channel like they turn to CBS, Fox, ABC, or NBC. Like,
Hmm.
if they have TV or cable, they're gonna watch those. So yeah, that's why Paramount still runs stuff on. It starts on their network and goes to Paramount Plus, not the other way around, right?
Yeah,
Similar with Peacock, which less successfully, but NBC shows still do well, right? And Disney owns Fox. They're not going to get rid of their Fox, studios or whatever. They own
you're just
FX,
right. They own Fox. Put the damn shows on Fox.
but they're not going to. Disney Channel is not Fox, and it is not. It
No, I
isn't.
know that. No, no, no. I
It's not
know that. But
ABC.
I'm talking about their MB. No, I'm talking about their MCU shows. Why don't you put that on Fox?
They have, but here's the thing: they have Miss Marvel aired on ABC. And what was it? Echo. So they've done it. They've done it before. And they might do it in the future, but Disney Channel disappearing doesn't that makes sense to me. It's a niche channel. Right? It really is. Like when you really think about it, its demographic is kids. And what are they doing right now? They got a tablet in front of their fucking face, or they got a phone, and they are watching YouTube, right? Or
Hmm.
they're watching streamers, or that's their entertainment. Yeah, they watch Disney Channel, but it's not must see TV like it was 10 or 15 years ago. So
Yeah.
I get it. And so it's down to Disney Plus to sort of drive ratings, and it's not going to do numbers. Like we get that, right? It's not going to do numbers. Like not what we expect from a TV show. And so it only makes sense to me that something like a Daredevil and animation is being pushed so hard
Yeah.
because none of them are going to require VFX the way I'm wondering about Wonder Man. I'm very, very curious about Wonder Man. And I know that Ironheart has been delayed so much and has cost a good penny, a pretty penny, because of how much VFX it needs. It just does. It has magic and fucking technology in it. Wonder Man he's a legit superpowered person, right? They're gonna need CG for that, right? Armor Wars
Hmm.
is a movie that may or may not ever come out. They made it a movie because they need to make their money back. That's what I'm saying. So things that require actual superpowers. This is why it's so weird to me that they're trying to do Young Avengers on streaming. That's not gonna make sense. It's too much CG is required. You need to make a movie so you can make your money back. Anyway, we're into a tangent. Daredevil's probably gonna be the most watched. I really want to see Eyes of Wakanda. I can't wait for it. Really looking forward to Marvel Zombies. Like I love the zombies version of What If. So I really want to see that. And then Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man looks interesting. I'm not saying I'm highly anticipating it. It looks interesting. I need to see a little bit more, but it's coming out very soon. In fact, I think it's coming out next month. Am I wrong about that? I think it's next month. So it should, we'll get an eye on it very soon. But Marvel TV is looking really like they really got a lot of stuff going. We may be able to go, maybe a week or two before another project comes out. So cool, good for them, good for you, Marvel TV. And of course, the last thing we're anticipating for the year, and maybe I'm missing some things. I'm pretty sure this is all the superhero stuff we're getting for the year because Sony's folded. They're not gonna do anything. This was their year and they fucked it up. And there's no other independent. superhero stuff coming out, like like Hellboy that came out this year. So it really is just the big two. And DC is, they started the DCU this last week with Creature Commandos. Now we're gonna get to see Superman properly. And Lottie, I'm not gonna lie, this is my most anticipated superhero thing next year. Just straight up.
Mm.
I don't know how you feel about it. It is straight up more than any other stuff we just talked about. I want to see Superman so bad, like it's not even funny. I'm Every time James Gunn drops a little nugget or does like an interview, I'm just like, man, get this shit in front of my face. I'm ready to see it. I don't know how you feeling about it, but that's how I feel about
You're not wrong. I mean, we all want to see what Superman's going the Superman movie. I mean, it's going to be what, 12 years? Jesus Christ, since we've seen a Superman movie. It's about damn time. You know what I mean?
it. Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane to think that it's about to be that long since we've seen the Superman movie.
Technically, if you really think about it, it's been like 35, 40. What year is it? It's probably been about 35, 37, 38 years since we've seen a proper Superman movie. I know y'all like I know y'all like Man of Steel. I like Man of Steel, right? I like Man of Steel. Is it a proper Superman movie though? Is it though? Is it really? I mean, like let's be real. Let's be real. And even the Justice League, right? Like I like Henry Cavill. I like his version of it. But there's a reason why I'm so excited for James Gunn's version, because he intends to channel the spirit of the comics. And I don't know that Henry Cavill's version of Superman has really channeled the spirit of the comics. Not the real spirit, for real, for real. You know, it's a version of Superman. But is it Superman though? That's all I'm saying. I mean, am I barking up the wrong tree on this, Lottie?
No, you're not. You're not. You're not. Trust me. It, I support you if this is the hill that you want to stand on. Like I tell you every time I have to, that that the what's it called, the Dark Knight trilogy is extremely overrated. So, hey, you know how you just said the same thing about Superman? That's how I feel about Batman. Batman being, I feel that this was the first proper Batman movie we've had in like decades, but people say you're wrong. But,
Yeah, you know what? Fair. This I think look, again, I like Cavill. I liked Man of Steel. I just don't think that it really understood Superman at its core. I think it was Superman trying to find his way. And the problem maybe that problem I had with the Snyderverse version of Superman is that it started out with Superman trying to find his way, and then it skipped all of the finding his way part, and then went straight to he's he's the paragon of virtue and justice and whatever. And I'm like, you I'm sorry, did y'all fast forward through the movie when I wasn't looking, and we skipped the character building part and went straight to Justice League, where you know he's that the shining example. Am I wrong? Like, am I wrong
hmm
about that? Because you can't get from, oh, I don't know what to do, with great power, blah blah blah. You can't. It's like you watch Spider-Man, Uncle Ben died, and then next thing he's at the end of Endgame. You're like, what happened between Uncle Ben and then Endgame? Because some shit went on and I missed it.
Yeah.
And he's Peter's but more to the point, Uncle Ben dies, and then no way home. You get to the end of No Way Home, and you're like, there's some shit I missed. I don't understand how he went from here to here. And that's how I feel about Superman. So I want to see in this movie where he's not trying to find his way. He's found his way. Now he's building up his resume as that guy, you know, the shining
Yeah.
example. So that when they finally get to Justice League and all of the, because there's so much space in the future for, there's great Superman stories and there's Brainiac and there's Zod eventually, right? There's the fighting the Anti-Monitor. There's all this stuff. There's all this stuff in the future that tests him as a person, his character. But I want to see I want to see him established in his character first before we get to all that stuff, before we get to Doomsday trying to kill him. Let's establish why he is an alien and people know he's an alien, right? And they still look to him as a hero, as like the best of us. Let's see that. And I think James Gunn, he's so earnest. That's the thing about it is he's not cynical about the way he presents it. Like Ladi, I mean, look, you remember we watched the whole Guardians trilogy. Was there any cynicism in those movies?
No.
Like, like, he's just earnest. He's earnest about it. He's
Yeah.
earnest about those emotions and the journeys and everything like that. I need that. I need the earnestness.
Especially the ending of the last one, man. Like, I ain't gonna lie, man. I've seen that movie like 4 times, and it's still almost. It's like first time I teared up at the end. Still, when I watch it, I still have to like fight the whole back tears because it's like this culmination of everything finally coming to the end, and everything is just like they said, the bad days are over, and I was just like, this is God. I freaking loved Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I love that movie so much.
Yeah, and I just like the idea because we know where it's coming from. If that's the person that he wrote it, right? He wrote all of that. He co-wrote the first one, but like he wrote the other ones, and that it feels like a real journey, and it's not cynical, and it's not just like taking swipes or trying to subvert. It's none of that. It gets to its end honestly, and that's all I want to see
Hmm.
is Superman to come about to be the guy that we know from the comics, but to come about it honestly, right? To sort of earn
Hmm.
his way into it. And there's not going to be any subversion and any of this shit. Be earnest about it, and I believe he's going to be because in
Hmm.
Guardians has kind of proven to me that that's aspirationally what James Gunn likes, what he wants. He wants a world where Superman isn't, you know, people aren't like, oh, boring, poo, he's so lame or whatever, which is the world we live in. With a lot of dumbass lamos that talk shit about Superman because they don't understand him and they're incapable of understanding him.
I
He
think
doesn't want that. Yeah,
Superman's this emo guy.
yeah. Well, they just think he's just like some Boy Scout. It's very surface level. They don't get it. And he doesn't want to present a world like that. He wants to present a world where, no, actually, we do get it. We do get why someone could be powerful enough to take over the world, but doesn't because it's not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Where he could be a guy who, that Lex Luthor says he is and lord his power over us, but rather he uses it to help us and to show us a better way. That's what it's aspirational. We need that right now. Trust me, we need that right now. So, I'm going on. Point is, can't wait. Lottie, can't wait.
I
So,
completely agree, man.
yeah, it should be a good time. 2025 is looking good. I can't wait to see what's going on. So, those are our most anticipated. Maybe we might have missed something, or maybe there was a news item we didn't get to. You agreed with us, disagreed with us, just wanted to say something nice. You know what to do. Get down there to the comment section, leave your thoughts there. Of course, you can always hit us up. Supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, blurred_force1 on Instagram and threads, super_not_funny show on TikTok, at least until they ban TikTok, I guess. It's it's looking
Mhm.
likely. I'm just saying. I am not gonna VPN that shit. Just I don't care that much about TikTok. So all that being said, do us a favor, get down there, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps to grow this channel, helps more people to see this podcast and all of the content that we make on the channel. And of course, I can't do this by myself. Need my good friend Ladi to add his insight into all the comic book stuff. So Ladi, where can they reach you on social media?
And you can always find me on my Instagram and YouTube channel. It is Anu Kinihun. Again, it's Anu Kinihun, ANUKINIHUN. Again, it's ANUKINIHUN. I just released a new animation that's doing extremely well on Instagram, so check it out.
Yep, you guys go and check out all of his socials. Show Lottie some love. Help him get that subscriber count out, and help us get a subscriber count up. Lottie, we are so close to 500 subscribers. it's
Yes.
it's real. I think we're like 9 away, something like that. I'm putting the call out on social media. I will also say, don't just subscribe to the channel. That's dope. I really appreciate you guys showing love like that. Don't just subscribe. Watch the videos all the way through. Let them play, man. Because like the only way we really get to that next level, the next level we're aiming for at 500 subscribers plus, is channel memberships. We can't. I mean, 1,000 is where you get ad revenue and all that. Okay, cool. That's nice, but channel memberships, because then we can start doing cool stuff with members. And channel memberships are, I mean, you pay for them, but like, we ain't gonna put like no high tier on them or anything like that, because it's a small channel and everything. But if you wanted to show love, that on a channel membership, that would be dope. Maybe we could do lives or something like that. I don't know. I'm still
Mhm.
trying to figure it all out. But the point is, 500 is the subscriber count, but we also need more watch time. I think it's 3,000 hours. And, we kind of dropped off recently just because I haven't been making as much content as normal, but I'm definitely planning to turn that around at the start of the year, trying to figure out what sort of stuff y'all want to watch, that sort of thing. So, leave some comments, hit us up, on social media, on email or whatever. Let us know what you're looking for, what you'd be interested in, because this is all about us nerding out together and trying to get this channel sky high. What is Tyrone Magnus used to say? 1 million subscribers.
Mhm.
That'd be cool too. Except we're cooler than Tyrone Magnus. Trust.
Mhm.
So all that being said, this has been episode 164 of the Supercast. We appreciate you for joining us. Come back next week. We're gonna talk about Craven the Hunter, and we're gearing up for the week after Christmas to talk about our best of 2024. So lots of good stuff, and we'll talk about all then. So until then, I've been Mo, your comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Lottie. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.